Imagine waking up and your brain feels like it's wrapped in fog. You reach for your phone, scroll mindlessly, then shuffle to the kitchen. Grab that box of cereal, pour, eat, feel nothing, just empty fullness. Sound familiar? Look, we all know ultra-processed foods are bad for us. We've heard it 1,000 times. The sugar, the chemicals, the weight gain. It's become background noise at this point, right? Just another thing on the long list of stuff we should probably do something about. Most people think the damage is just about calories, about not fitting into their genes, about vanity, but beneath the surface, something far more sinister is happening. These foods aren't just making you gain weight, they're hijacking your brain's reward system in the exact same way addictive drugs do. I'm not being dramatic here. Scientists have found that ultra-processed foods light up the same neural pathways as cocaine. Not similar pathways, the same pathways. Your brain is being held hostage by a bag of Doritos and you don't even realize it. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a biological fog stealing your clarity, your energy, your ability to feel genuine satisfaction from anything. You eat, but you're never truly full. You rest, but you're never truly recharged. It's like someone turned down the brightness on your entire existence. And you've been living in dim mode for so long, you forgot what full color looks like. And it's not just in your head. There's inflammation creeping through every cell of your body. Your gut bacteria, the trillions of tiny organisms that produce the chemicals that make you feel happy, calm, focused, they're dying off. Your hormones are screaming into chaos, the exhaustion that no amount of coffee can fix, the mood swings that come out of nowhere, the inability to focus for more than 5 minutes. That's not you failing. That's your biology breaking down under the constant assault of food engineered in laboratories to keep you coming back for more. This isn't just about health, it's about who you are as a person, your personality, your potential, your capacity for joy, all of it being dulled, day after day, by what's on your plate. But here's the real twist. What happens in the first 72 hours after you stop eating this stuff? It might be more uncomfortable and more revealing than you think. And what happens by day 21? That's when your body does something most people never get to experience in their entire adult life. So what actually happens when you rip off the Band-Aid and go cold turkey on ultra-processed food? Let's start with the brutal truth of week 1. Here's what nobody tells you. The first 3 days are going to feel wrong. You'll crave things intensely. Not just, oh, I'd like some chips cravings. I'm talking about obsessive, can't stop thinking about it cravings, the kind that wake you up at 2 in the morning with vivid mental images of pizza or cookies or whatever your poison was. You might get headaches, real ones, the kind that throb behind your eyes. You'll feel irritable, snappy. Your patience will be thin as paper. You might snap at your partner over nothing, get frustrated at your kids, feel a wave of fatigue wash over you in the afternoon that makes you want to crawl under your desk and sleep. And here's the kicker. You'll feel hungrier than you've ever felt, even though you're eating plenty of real food. Your stomach will growl. Your brain will scream. You'll open the fridge 17 times in an hour, staring inside like the answer to life itself is hidden behind the milk. So, why does cutting out processed food feel like going through withdrawal? Because that's exactly what it is. Ultra-processed foods aren't just made, they're engineered. Food scientists, actual PhDs working in labs, have spent decades perfecting these products. Their job isn't to nourish you, it's to make you eat more. They've optimized what's called the bliss point, the perfect combination of sugar, salt, fat, and texture that makes your brain scream more before you've even finished chewing. Every time you ate that stuff, your brain got a massive dopamine hit. Dopamine is your reward chemical. It's what makes you feel pleasure, motivation, desire. And ultra-processed foods trigger dopamine spikes that are completely unnatural. They're higher and faster than anything your ancestors ever experienced from real food. Think of it like this. Your brain has been getting artificial fireworks every single day, huge, explosive bursts of dopamine from foods designed in labs to hack your reward system. Now you're switching to natural candlelight, the gentle, steady dopamine release from real food like an apple or a piece of grilled chicken. Your brain is literally throwing a tantrum because the fireworks are gone. It doesn't understand why the party stopped. It just knows it wants that high back, and it wants it now. This is why you feel terrible. Your neurochemistry is recalibrating. Your insulin levels, which have been on a constant roller coaster, are trying to stabilize. Your gut bacteria, the ones that thrived on sugar and sent signals to your brain demanding more, are dying off, and they're sending distress signals on their way out. But here's where it gets interesting. Around day 4, maybe day 5 or 6, something shifts. The headaches start fading. You wake up one morning and realize you actually slept deeply for the first time in months. Your energy in the afternoon, usually your crash time, your I need another coffee time, it feels steadier, not explosive, not jittery, just steady. You're not riding a blood sugar roller coaster anymore. Every time you ate refined carbs and sugars, your blood sugar would spike high, then crash low, high, then low, all day long. That crash is what made you exhausted, foggy, desperate for more sugar. But now, your blood sugar is learning to stay in a healthy range. It takes roughly 3 to 5 days for this regulation to stabilize after you remove refined sugars and processed carbs. Science backs this up. And researchers at the University of Michigan did something fascinating. They studied ultra-processed foods using the same criteria used to classify cigarettes and alcohol as addictive substances. The results? Ultra-processed foods met every single criterion: the rapid absorption, the high concentration of rewarding ingredients, the reinforcing effects that make you want more. It's not a lack of willpower. You are fighting an addiction. By the end of week 1, your body has stopped screaming for the fake stuff. The inflammation markers in your bloodstream, things like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, are already starting to drop. Your gut is beginning to reset. The good bacteria, the ones that actually help you, are getting their first real meal in years. But this is just the foundation. You've cleared the wreckage. Now the real magic is about to begin. Because what happens in weeks 2 and 3 isn't just physical. It's like someone turned the lights back on in your brain. Around day 10, people report something strange. Instead of feeling deprived, they start feeling liberated. Food stops being this thing that controls you. You stop thinking about your next meal constantly. You're not planning your day around when you can get your fix. For the first time in years, maybe decades, food becomes just food. Fuel, nourishment, not the center of your entire emotional universe. Here's the paradox. You'd think eating less sugar would make you tired. That's what the food companies want you to believe, right? Sugar equals energy. But instead, you start to feel a strange surge of clean energy, not jittery coffee energy that comes with a crash, not the manic buzz of an energy drink. Deep, cellular energy, the kind that makes you want to move, to create, to actually do things, instead of just scrolling through your phone in a daze. Here's why. Your cells have a self-cleaning system called autophagy. It literally means self-eating. Think of it as millions of microscopic janitors that go through your body, breaking down damaged proteins, clearing out cellular garbage, recycling the broken parts. It's one of the most important processes for longevity, for disease prevention, for keeping your brain sharp as you age. In fact, the scientist who discovered the mechanisms of autophagy won the Nobel Prize in 2016. That's how crucial this is. But here's the problem. When you're constantly eating ultra-processed food, especially the refined carbs and sugars, your insulin is constantly elevated, and high insulin shuts down autophagy. It's like your cellular janitors are on permanent break. The trash piles up. Damaged mitochondria, your cell's tiny power plants, stop working efficiently. Misfolded proteins accumulate. Your cells literally age faster. Your brain gets foggy because neurons can't communicate properly through all the cellular debris. When you remove ultra-processed foods, your insulin levels stabilize and drop. For the first time in years, maybe decades, autophagy kicks into high gear. Your body starts cleaning house. Damaged mitochondria get recycled and replaced with new, efficient ones. Inflammation decreases because the cellular garbage that was triggering your immune system is finally being cleared out. Your cells literally become younger and more efficient. This is why you feel that surge of energy. Your mitochondria are working properly again. They're producing ATP, cellular energy, without the constant interference of inflammation and insulin spikes. You're running on clean fuel now. By week 2 or 3, the mental shift is undeniable. The brain fog lifts. It's like someone opened the curtains in a room you'd been sitting in for years. Suddenly you can focus for hours without getting distracted. Ideas come easier. You can hold complex thoughts in your head without losing the thread. Your mood stabilizes not because you're artificially happy, but because the chemical chaos has finally calmed down. Why does your brain work better? Because your brain is 60% fat. It's the fattiest organ in your body. And ultra-processed foods cause something called neuroinflammation, inflammation specifically in your brain tissue. This inflammation disrupts the communication between neurons. It's like trying to have a conversation through static. Everything becomes harder. Thinking, remembering, feeling joy, real, whole foods, especially those rich in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, are anti-inflammatory. They give your brain the raw materials it actually needs to build and repair itself. Your neurons can finally communicate without static interference. The fog disappears because the fog was never really you. It was inflammation. And here's something most people don't know. 90% of your serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates your mood, your sleep, your sense of well-being, it's made in your gut, not your brain. Your gut, by the trillions of bacteria living there. Ultra-processed foods destroy your gut microbiome. They feed the bad bacteria, the ones that produce inflammatory compounds and send signals to your brain demanding more sugar. The good bacteria, the ones that produce serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all the chemicals that make you feel calm, focused, and genuinely happy, they starve. When you switch to whole foods, you're feeding the good bacteria. You're giving them fiber, polyphenols, all the things they need to thrive. They multiply, they flourish, and they start producing the neurotransmitters your brain has been desperately craving. This is why people report feeling emotionally stable for the first time in years. It's not a placebo, it's biochemistry. I want to know, have you ever cut out processed food before, even for a few days? What did you notice? Drop a comment and let me know, because everyone's journey is slightly different. By week 3, the physical changes become impossible to ignore. Your skin clears up, those random breakouts, the dullness, the inflammation, it fades. That's because systemic inflammation is dropping throughout your entire body, and your skin is just a reflection of what's happening inside. You're sleeping better, deeply, because your blood sugar isn't spiking and crashing in the middle of the night, pulling you out of deep sleep phases. Your body can finally enter the restorative stages of sleep where real healing happens. And you might notice fat melting off without even trying, especially around your midsection. That's visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around your organs and produces inflammatory compounds. It's the fat most strongly linked to heart disease, diabetes, and dementia. When insulin levels drop and inflammation decreases, your body finally gets the signal that it's safe to let go of that stored energy. But those aren't even the benefits most people talk about. There are changes happening that'll surprise you. Changes nobody warns you about. Okay, so we've covered the obvious stuff. More energy, better focus, fat loss. But let's talk about what blindsides people in the best way possible. Your taste buds literally regenerate. After about 2 weeks, real food starts tasting incredible. An apple tastes sweet, actually sweet. A carrot tastes vibrant, almost alive. Grilled chicken with just salt and pepper? It has flavor, depth. You realize you've been living in a dulled, muted flavor world your entire life. It's like going from black and white to color, and you didn't even know you were colorblind. This happens because ultra-processed foods overwhelm your taste receptors. They blast them with such intense artificial flavors that real food can't compete. But your taste buds replace themselves every 10 to 14 days. When you stop assaulting them with hyperpalatable garbage, they reset. They become sensitive again. Food tastes the way it did when you were a kid before your palate got hijacked. People report feeling emotionally steady for the first time in years. Less anxiety, fewer mood swings. You're not riding the blood sugar and dopamine roller coaster anymore, so your emotions aren't either. You stop having those days where you wake up fine and by noon, you're inexplicably irritable or sad or anxious for no reason you can name. It's not about being artificially happy. It's about being stable, grounded, like you finally have control over your own mind. Your relationship with food fundamentally changes. You stop using food to numb emotions. You realize you weren't eating because you were hungry. You were eating because you were bored, stressed, lonely, angry, sad. Ultra-processed foods work as emotional anesthesia. They give you that quick dopamine hit that temporarily makes you forget whatever you're feeling. But real food doesn't work as a numbing agent. An apple can't distract you from your problems the way a bag of chips can. And that's actually a good thing. You're forced to actually deal with your feelings, to sit with discomfort, to find healthier ways to cope. This might sound terrible, but it's transformational. You stop running from yourself. And here's something nobody mentions. You save time and money. People think whole food is more expensive, and sure, pound for pound. Broccoli costs more than ramen, but you eat less because your body is actually satisfied. You're not snacking every hour because your blood sugar is stable and your hunger hormones are working properly. Your grocery bill might actually go down. Plus, you're not spending 10 minutes standing in front of the pantry at 9 p.m., staring, craving, opening bags and boxes, unsure what you even want because nothing satisfies you. Now let's tackle the elephant in the room. People worry they'll lose muscle or become weak. Here's the truth. Ultra-processed foods are terrible for muscle maintenance. They spike insulin, which sounds good, except chronic insulin elevation promotes fat storage and creates inflammation that literally breaks down muscle tissue. It interferes with something called muscle protein synthesis, your body's ability to build and repair muscle. When you eat real whole foods, especially protein-rich foods, like eggs, fish, meat, legumes, Greek yogurt, your body becomes more efficient at building and maintaining muscle. Studies show that people who eat whole food sources of protein have better muscle protein synthesis than those eating the same amount of protein from processed sources. Your body recognizes real food. It knows what to do with it. Processed protein bars and shakes. Your body treats them like the chemical cocktails they are. Another fear, I'll never enjoy food again. I'll be miserable forever. Wrong. You'll enjoy food more. You're just not enjoying lab-engineered, hyperpalatable garbage designed by scientists specifically to keep you addicted and coming back for more. Real food, cooked simply with actual ingredients, becomes deeply satisfying in a way Doritos never could be. Because satisfaction isn't about intensity, it's about nourishment. Your body knows the difference even if your brain hasn't figured it out yet. And people worry it's too hard, too restrictive, that they'll fail like they've failed every other time. But here's what they don't realize. Those other times, they were fighting willpower against addiction. They were trying to moderate something designed to be irresistible. This is different. When you eliminate ultra-processed foods completely, you're not testing your willpower every single day. You're removing the trigger. The cravings fade. The obsession dissolves. It's not about being strong enough. It's about changing the game entirely. So, what does all this mean for your future? Because 30 days is just the beginning. You're not weak. You've been fighting a rigged game. The food industry has spent billions of dollars engineering products specifically designed to override your body's natural signals of hunger and fullness. They've hired neuroscientists to study your brain, and find the exact combination of ingredients that makes you unable to stop eating. You've been playing against a stacked deck your entire life. Cutting out ultra-processed food isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. It's about reclaiming your biology from corporations that profit from your confusion and sickness. It's about remembering that your body is capable of extraordinary things when you stop poisoning it. Remember this: moderation protects, elimination heals. You can moderate alcohol and be fine. You can moderate Netflix and be fine. But some things, the things specifically designed to addict you, they don't respond to moderation. They respond to elimination. And the freedom on the other side is worth the discomfort of letting go. You don't need ultra-processed food. You never did. Your ancestors thrived for hundreds of thousands of years without a single Dorito, energy drink, or protein bar. They didn't have food scientists optimizing bliss points. They didn't have convenience stores on every corner. They ate food that grew from the ground or walked on the earth. And their bodies knew exactly what to do with it. Your body still knows. It's just been buried under decades of interference. Trust it. If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who need to hear it. Subscribe if you want more science-backed health content that cuts through the noise and gives you the truth without the corporate filter. And share this video with one person in your life who's struggling with food, energy, or brain fog. Sometimes all someone needs is permission to try something different. Be the person who gives them that permission. And if you're wondering what the single biggest dietary change you can make for longevity is, I just dropped a deep dive video on that. It's not what you think. I'll link it right here. Watch that next. Trust me, you're not broken. You're just buried. It's time to dig yourself out.